I'm doing a tasty challenge today in Peglin, and it's been a while since I've done any of the challenges, at least a little bit, self-imposed ones, and I've decided the one that I wanted to do today, and it has caused me way more headache than I want to admit, is I'm doing all of the food products. And so I've got an apple a day, increasing my max health by 15. I've got wall chicken, increasing my max health by 25. And then I've got my cake, increasing it by 50, all at the same time. So pretty much all of my, I'm already at 190 health, just base, just because of all my food. I'm stuffed to the brim. That's also not to mention the bad cheese for 20x number of reloads. Great. It's probably one of my favorite relics just because of the sheer potential of the reload builds. Killing the final boss. Yes, killing the final boss without shooting a single orb is honestly a really fun prospect. So that's that one. I've got the cookie that heals me 2 on every reload. Or refresh, I think. Yeah, actually. So it is on 2 every refresh. I've got the tactical retreat, which moves the refreshes every single shot. Tactical retreat. I can't speak today, guys. I'm sorry. I've got Popping Corn for healing me 1 every 12 pegs I activate. The Salt Shaker, which is kind of useful if you start off with it, I guess. Considering I deal 10 more damage to slimes early on, I guess that makes a difference. Not so much later on, so not too big of a deal after a certain point, but at the moment, it does help out. What else do I got here? I've got my drink for the challenge, the Refreshing Punch, which will, activating refresh peg, activates all the nearby pegs, and then I've also got the Pumpkin Pie for, what does Pumpkin Pie do? The Pumpkin Pie is that little thing on the bottom there, which, teleports if it ends up in that hole, it teleports it all the way up to the top 3 times at most per shot. So it's not infinite, but it is, I mean, it's a sizable amount. Like, it's reasonable to assume that you'll probably get a good amount of use out of it. And there's the cheese proc, and I guess finally, I did kind of forget about it, the well done steak, healing 6 for every reload. Nah, that's pretty good. Not the best, not the worst. And so let's see here. Just gotta hit this one last bomb, and we're good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this challenge out. From what I'm looking at here, almost all of these relics are like utility-based relics, like healing or health-based relics. So I feel like I'll probably be able to do it, especially if I get the right orbs for it. But it's going to be a battle of attrition for sure. I'd be willing to bet the Nosferatu would be really good here. Just high base damage orbs, like the new one actually. I haven't gotten to play around with it too much, but it is pretty good from what I was seeing at, or it would be very good in this specific build, which is I believe it's like the same stats as something like the I already forgot the name of it. The Oh My Gorb, where it just has huge amounts of stats, but the drawback is you always have to take something like I'm not sure the exact number on it, but I think it's something like 7, then 6, then 5 damage based on what level it is, which is nothing to scoff at by any means. Okay, so I feel like I should check in the chest. What's for the dessert? What can I get after? Complex claw? No. that is not food. I refuse. But yeah, so the recent update also changed the custom start deck so that you need to actually get any of the items, and you need to have encountered them throughout the run to be able to use them, right? Which, in theory, you'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, it does make sense. But it caused me a lot of troubles today for a reason you probably wouldn't expect. And it's because I had this idea in my head. I was like, okay, I kind of want to do the food challenge. I saw it like quite a while ago, and I'm like, well, that kind of sounds cool. So I did really want to do it today, and I really wanted the cake to be a part of it. So the issue with the cake is you need 2 separate event encounters to happen. And it took me 3 hours to get the events set up in a way that I was actually able to get the cake relic. It was the most annoying thing ever. I had the speed turned up to 3 times, and I was like, well, it's gotta happen soon, right? So on the bright news, at least, I do have every relic unlocked into my custom start deck now, and every orb unlocked in my custom start deck. But on the bad side, it's forcing me to record this about 3 hours later than I wanted to. And I have about 30 minutes from right now to finish recording this and maybe get some editing done on it. So, oh, just like that, the orblation, this is what I was talking about. Huge damage at the cost of health, but I think that's fine when you're talking about, I'm just looking for big damage right now, because I kind of have the health to deal with it between the popping corn and the well done steak, and just having 190 base health. That's gonna make me a lot happier when it comes to this. So, let's see here. But yeah, I was so shocked at how long it took. The one run, I should have taken a photo of it, or should have recorded it or something, because I just thought it was amazing. I somehow managed to get 3 eggs and 2 Orboroses at one time. And I'm just like, how did I manage this? Because I was just starting off with, every relic just so that I could power through it, get the cake relic early on, and just be done with it, right? So I definitely was just like powering through it, and as soon as I found the one encounter, I was just like, all right, whatever orb I get. So I got my what's it called? The Orbros. And then I found my egg afterwards, and then I found a duplicating mirror, and then I found another duplicating altar. And it was just like, I've never seen this before. And it was even more absurd because later on in that same run, I found the mirror orb at the same time too. So I had every one of these special orbs multiple times, which I don't think I've ever seen before, much less had experienced myself. Because I've had multiple eggs at the same time, but nothing close to what I had experienced there. I probably should just skip that one there. Going to go with the Bob Orb here. I mainly upgraded this one early because I just don't have any AoE right now. And I was figuring, like, the bombs will do reasonable enough. Right? They are only doing 50, but I figured 50 would be good enough anyway. And looks like it was. Now, here's the thing. Do I upgrade my Doctor Orb or my Orblation? I feel like I probably have enough damage that I can probably get away with the other thing. And Consuming Chalice. This one's a tough one. I didn't even think about it now, but it is kind of a cup, and the basic blade is kind of a knife, but they're not food. I can't eat food. I can't eat a knife. So they're gonna be left out for now. I'm sorry if those were your favorite relics, but yeah, they're not for me. Nope. None for me, please. I'm kind of curious as to how now that I'm thinking about it, how did the Bob do damage to the boss there? Because it ended at 7 health, but then it somehow managed to kill it. Did the salt kill the final boss of that floor? How did the salt end up, of all things, to end up killing a boss of a floor? The salt? I would not have expected that. Let's see. I'm just gonna get a little bit of damage to that one. That is kind of why I was getting the Swarb at the same time. It is just higher damage, and that is my main concern right now, especially if this is the wall, which it is. That does kind of scare me a little bit, just because, you know, the wall has a lot of health, and it is on a timer. So, just kind of thinking about that, I really need to make sure that I have what I need to be able to do it by the time I get there. So, probably want to get something like... I might even want to remove some of my bad orbs. Oh, gosh. This shot is actually going to hurt me a lot, isn't it? Yep. It's fine, though. Because I can just shoot the Doctor Orb now, without fear of losing it. Heal up to 190. My health won't matter against this wall, though, and it's kind of scaring me. Let's see, going to just shoot down the way here. Shouldn't really matter regardless how much I'm doing here. Because I need, what, 15 damage to be able to kill this thing, and I'm doing 800? That makes sense. That's great. I feel like the Bully Ball could be good, so I will take it for now, because it might scale up over time. I'm thinking maybe the Bully Ball, having all of the new orbs, aside from the old magnet one, might actually be really, really helpful here. I could use those, but I'll skip them for now. Oh wait, no, those would have been amazing! Because they are high base damage, and they also scale it. I'll definitely fight the stones here. I would much rather do that than have to deal with 3 extra stones. Although 3 stones really isn't that bad, especially if I find an Orbalisk. It could really help me out, but I don't know. That requires a little bit more than I'm willing to gamble on that. And it's not like it's that hard of a fight, especially when you have good healing and just good health in general. Kind of shame I hit that crit. And kind of establishing that it's been a while since I've taken an extraordinary, and I'm kind of really regretting that I did right now. I'm kind of understanding why I stopped taking it, to be honest. Because most of the time, I feel like you're going to hit a crit more often than you're going to be able to miss them. Especially when you're talking about doing this on Crucible 0, which I currently am. I just didn't want to have to deal with the headache of trying to get through Crucible 7 when I am on such tight of a time limit right now. Because the stupid cake wouldn't show up. The cake was 100% a lie. That is 100% the truth when talking about exactly this challenge. Or finding the cake, I should say, for this challenge. The cake is here. It is here, but finding it didn't go so well. I will skip it for now, but I'm going to go to the question mark. Never mind, I'm not going to the question mark. It would have been really, really nice if I was able to get the Orboros maybe and upgrade it by the time I get to the final boss. That would actually be very helpful. And it would also help trim the fat that I've given my deck very badly. And whose fault is that? Mine. It's my fault. I took so many orbs. I wasn't thinking. I can't believe I've done this. I might have messed myself up. I probably would have been fine against the, I probably would have been more than fine against the ballista, but I am very scared right now of the wall. I was certain that wasn't going to hit that. I was certain of it. What is this going to do? 2-3, so this one's going to do 2-4. A little bit more on this. So, I will just go with that, and you know what? I'll create a few bombs. 2 of them, good enough. 3, even better. And a little bit of a reload action going on there. Hit 2 bombs, 3 bombs maybe? Not quite. But it did enough that I am able to actually just kind of finish everything off here, I think. I'm gonna take a little bit here. Maybe not. Nah, I'll take a little bit. Not too big of a deal. I'm not too worried about that much damage. I am going to upgrade the orblation. Because I feel like the bully ball, if I recall correctly, it doesn't actually scale better. It just gets higher base stats, which is cool. But I'd rather have something that scales a little better, like the orblation, so I take less damage. Now, I feel like that's probably the best one there. I should really be skipping these stones a lot more than I am. In fact, I will now. Now that I'm actually remembering it, I will absolutely skip it. But I have to remember it to be able to do that, so. That's kind of the issue there. I'm going to throw my Docked Orb, more or less because I feel like everything will probably be dead by the time I get to another one, so. Although, maybe I'm just absolutely delusional on that front. We'll see. Especially if things are healing like crazy, but no, I was right in the end. And the crit ball nerf was actually pretty sizable. The fact that it doesn't activate crits anymore, I remember someone was saying it in the comments that it is fairly sizable. And I feel like it eliminates a huge use case for it, of having that crits Malus Fleece just for this one huge damage orb. Which, I mean, I guess it does make sense in a way, because it also does buff some of the other relics at the same time, namely the short stack and just general crit builds that don't have a lot of crits to begin with. Also, oh my, this one would have been amazing to get on the that one shot alone would have been great to have on the final boss here. But sadly, I'm wasting it on this guy. I will throw my Docked Orb over at the bomb side here. I don't really care too much about my health, especially because I'm not going to be taking any from the final boss, but hey. Still going to go for it. Get the refresh, hopefully spawn a few bombs. I did spawn a few, not as many as I would have liked, but again, I'm not too worried about taking too much damage here, so perfectly fine with this outcome. Especially if I were to hit that refresh, which I'm not. That would have been a great refresh to hit. Sadly, I missed because I suck and can't aim. But hey, that's fine. Especially fine that finished off. The Orbium, yeah, I feel like I don't have very much synergy with that, and just in general, I don't have that much synergy. It would have been nice to have the extra Bully Ball, but I don't have very much synergy for it right now at all, so I'm just kind of glossing over everything. Let's see. A Decoy Orb. Enemies don't get their extra turn. Cool. I'm going to leave you alone. I don't want that. that is not a part of this challenge. Let's see, a unicorn horn. Could I make the connection to a cornucopia to add the unicorn horn to my deck? I don't think so. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Not that much, but it's definitely a little bit of a stretch. Now here's the question. I think I do this just so I can guarantee to get rid of that guy that does a little bit of chip damage. Although, again, I don't really need to. I have 190 health, and any enemy on this floor isn't going to actually be able to do any damage to me. There wasn't any need for me to do that. So, I'm really unsure why I did. I'll just skip you, and there we go. That should honestly be able to kill pretty much anything. That many bombs, I'd be surprised. Aside from, I guess, the mirrors, because they do have a lot of health. They do. 427 on the back one. I'll hopefully hit a crit. If I do, I do. And it finishes out. Very nice. Pumpkin pie is actually being hit way more often than I normally do. Here's a question. I think I gotta upgrade the orblation here. I do think so. Hopefully I just hit like a ton of refreshes and just hit these huge orbs on the ones that actually matter. Speaking of, this one might be kinda good. I don't aim towards the pumpkin pie here, but I think that's more or less fine. Because it's... Oh, wait, no, it's not so much, because... That's right, because it's just gonna eat. I do get rid of the back one, though, so that... I guess that's something. Hopefully this makes it over to a crit. Doesn't look like it will, though. Still a pretty good shot. 680 is not bad at all. I'll just skip over... Basically anything that's not amazing, I'm skipping over. Because I really just need to get to the few specific orbs that are actually going to be able to carry me. And I feel like this orb, while not great, it is better than average here. So we'll go with that one. If it hits, that was the exact thing I was hoping for it to hit. That is awesome. And you know what? I will also go with the Bob Orb here, because how much is this adding? This is actually adding a lot of damage. It's just not showing it immediately. And you know what? I will go with this. It might hit the crit here. I'm hoping it doesn't. If it doesn't hit the crit, great. If it does, less so. But that was a perfect scenario that I wanted. Swarb again, I will shoot. And then I'll just probably skip my way down to what I'm looking for. Hopefully this hits a refresh. No, does not look like it will. Here's a question though. I feel like I gotta go for a refresh here before I shoot the orblation. That's a pretty good setup right here. That's a really good setup if it goes down the pumpkin pie hole. It does. That's massive. Didn't go down the second time. That's not too bad though. I'm okay with that because I am still doing pretty huge damage on that. And pretty good damage on this dag orb as well. I'll be honest. This should hit the refresh, and maybe it'll make its way over to the glowy hole. Probably not, though. Getting a little dicey. How did it make it over here? I'm not sure. That was a really bad shot, though. Doing 40 on that, and somehow the first stone shot here is actually going to be what I'm going to go with. And it doesn't look like I am going to be able to finish this one off. That's such a shame. Because I get eaten right here, I don't get crit. I definitely bogged down my deck too much. I definitely shouldn't have taken a lot of the stuff I did. I was really just hoping I got the other final boss there. Oh, no. I'm not sure what to do now. This was a very short video, and not one that I'm the most satisfied with. But I don't think I have the time to record another one, and I would really like to get one out for you guys today. So I think that's where I'm gonna have to call it. So if you do like the video, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Sorry I didn't get farther, but I think it was still fun. So see you.